What's happening, TwT fans? It is so good to be back. It is time for another Talking with Topher. This is episode 316. It is April 23rd, 2026. And let me start off the way I always do, by getting the housekeeping out of the way. Thank you, everybody, for subscribing. If you're new, remember to subscribe. You want an opportunity to tell your story or be a guest? TALKIN with Topher at gmail.com. It's the official email of the podcast. Send an audio, video, or type it out. Linktree link is in the description below the video. You can find everything TwT. It's just that easy. And don't forget about all the links down there so that you can go and do your own research. And now, with all the housekeeping out of the way, I just quickly want to say that we need to be smarter about our money, everybody, because the money is disappearing. It's not going to get any easier. And, well, you know, they asked us for $200 trillion for this war. And now all the Medicaid's going to die. So who knows what's next? Get your money right. Get yourself right and figure it out today, because it's the only way we're going to make it, everybody. It's the only way we're going to make it. And I want to start this podcast off with this opening clip right here.
Here's the unsettling conclusion that's hard to escape with our current reckless adventure in Iran. This was not in Trump's interest. If he loses the House and Senate, he will likely be impeached and convicted, which means there won't even be a remainder of this presidency. Why would a president engage in an action that seems very likely to end his presidency?
That is the question, isn't it?
This feels like someone wished to burn down the Trump presidency and hobble the United States. Given what Marco Rubio said, I feel like this president probably wouldn't have done this if he had had a real choice. Is there any chance that the purpose of this system is what it's just done, and that really the idea is Trump beat them every step of the game to this point, but they weren't going to allow him to win in the end, and burning down his presidency was a feature, not a bug?
Of course. Yeah. You got it. You got everything you said is true.
It's crazy, right? So, I mean, look, everybody, this is wild shit. I don't know how much more I can stand behind him. I don't know how much more I could sit here and be like, well, maybe he's going to do this, or maybe he's going to do that, or maybe. I just don't think it's there anymore. If it was there, it would already be done. He's a puppet. He's Israel's puppet. We are Israel's colleagues in crime, in genocide, in murder. And I don't think he's getting us out of it. I think, if anything, this is America's demise. I think this is America's end. I think the empire is falling right in front of us. We are in the middle of it. And I don't know if you see it, but I don't see a future where housing goes back down, gas goes back down, or anything goes back down. I see everything staying exactly where it is or getting more expensive, because they already said they want to keep the housing prices high. They want you on a 50-year mortgage. There's, I don't know, Trump Care or something, or they put out some government website. I don't know what they're doing anymore. They do not care about us. They do not care about us, and I don't think they ever will again. Now, look at this message that came from Iran. Wild shit, everybody.
So, listen to this most recent warning from Iran to the United States and Israel.
We sacrificed 168 beautiful, innocent school kids, the best kids. Tremendous sacrifice. Nobody does sacrifice like we do. We did it for you, sir. Believe me, Mal, it's huge. More. I want more!
Long live the resistance. Long live Iran.
So if you haven't been paying attention, so far, Iran has burned not one, but 2 statues of Baal and an obelisk like your Washington Monument. And even Mexico burned this statue of Baal at the U.S. Embassy as a representation of the United States of America. And even Pakistan burned this put-together statue of Baal as a representation of the United States of America. Almost like they're trying to tell you something. People right now, it's no way we're Baal worshippers. While Washington, D.C. looks like this. The founding father of our freedom in 1776, the same time as the Bavarian Lodge and the Illuminati began, looked like this. And it's not like we have the biggest obelisk in the whole world, including the Washington Masonic Lodge in Washington, D.C. with this big old thing out front. And it's not like all of these guys haven't been caught over there like old Charlie and Willie over there looking for the snozberries.
So what do we do about this? And are we supporting demon worshipers? Is this a holy war? Is Tucker, even though he's gone full, Christian and all these things, I'm not against it. I do believe that if we are in a holy war, I'm definitely standing on the side of Jesus Christ. I think I've said this a few times, but this is insane, dude. Insane times to be alive and to be witnessing this happening and them to tell us that this is going to be over in a couple weeks. Don't worry, stock market, stick with it. It's just such bullshit, man. All they're doing is trying to make this seem like something good is going to come out of it, steal more money from us, and then when everything goes belly up, these guys are going to take the money and run. And you know where they're going to run? Right underground, dude. Because obviously, with the $21 trillion underground bunker system for the rich elites, yeah, these are the people that we want representing us when none of us are left, right? But Iran had another message.
Watch this video that the Iranian government released.
So, you're looking at Native Americans, Japan, Hiroshima, Vietnam, Yemen, Palestine, Gaza, Epstein Island, Iran, General Qasem Soleimani, Tehran. They have the Statue of Liberty looking like cabal, everybody, as they blow it up. One vengeance.
I want you to pay attention at the end of the video.
All.
It says vengeance for all. That was just released after the United States stated that they were sending a 15-point deal to Iran. And President Trump going on to Truth Social saying that the United States won, claiming victory. This 100% means that Iran is not going to agree with the United States' 15-point deal. And I also think it's safe to say that Iran is not going to stop this war anytime soon. Iran wants the heat. And I think Iran's also taking the opportunity that the United States is currently divided given the political views that everybody has, especially because of the Epstein files, given that they used the Epstein files on that video. And Iran's taking advantage of the fact that NATO is not going to back up the United States in this conflict, while China and Russia and North Korea are backing up Iran. This is not going to be a World War III because no country is backing up the United States. It's just Israel and the United States against these other countries. I think it's safe to say that Iran is not going after the United States, given that it showed Native Americans and it wants justice for Epstein files, but it's going after the elitist, or in other words, Trump. But let me know what you think in the comments below.
Now, that's a good possibility, right? Iran's only going to go after Trump. It's only going to go after Israel. It's not actually going to go after the United States of America. Look, man, I just want justice. I want what's ours. I want every person on that Epstein file that has done terrible things, and we've seen and read some horrific things. I want them all to fry. I want us out of this Iran war. I want our gas prices to go down. I want money to go back into my pocket. I am tired of all of this BS that they keep trying to feed us, and it's just not right, because I believe that what we are doing today is wrong. I don't think that they were 2 weeks away. 40 years, everybody. Are you going to be fooled by 40 years of this monster, this actual dictator, saying that these people, look, I'll just give you one last fact and we'll get off of this. Ted Cruz doesn't know the population of Iran. Aren't we supposed to know? Aren't we supposed to know how many people are in a country that we're bombing and blowing up? Shouldn't we have a number? I thought so, but obviously we don't. So, if the Jews should ever succeed in setting up their Israel in the state of Palestine, most of them will not go to live there. No, they will reside in their host country, continuing in their criminal actions. They will use Israel as a safe haven, a habitat of convenience from which they cannot be extradited. That, you want to know who said that if you're not watching? Adolf Hitler in 1924, everybody. Is that not a scary fucking statement? Well, check this video out, dude, because this is wild, everybody. If this is true, this is crazy. Crazy. And also, what? Check this out.
This man says that he is actually Hitler. This dude is 128 years old. He lives in Argentina, and he says that he is literally Hitler, and he's been living in hiding for 70 years now. And dude is adamant that that's who he is. Like, he is dead ass. And I'm not saying that I believe him. I'm not saying that I don't believe him either, though. All the other conspiracy theories that have proven to be true, and the fact that we now know that Jeffrey Epstein is still alive, nothing would really shock me at this point. But what do y'all think?
I mean, what? Look, I'm just saying that the possibility of him being in Argentina and that small spot looking identical and being replicated to look like Germany, and the fact that it was just kind of forgotten about, and this is not the first time I've heard of Hitler possibly living in Argentina. 128 years of age? How? Well, what? All the things that we obviously, living anywhere else in the world is almost safer than living in America today. Wow. That's crazy. Because if this really is Hitler, and he really is 128 years old, living in Argentina, that means the air quality, the food quality, the life quality in Argentina is far superior than anywhere on the planet. Because how would somebody get to the ripe old age of 128 in America? It's unheard of. Netanyahu's police interrogation tapes just leaked, and they reveal he personally funded Hamas. This changes everything. Now, I believe all of this to be true. Because why? Because we have actual evidence of troops being told on October 10th, I think it was, to stand down between the hours of the attack. Nobody knew why. Nobody asked questions. And then all of a sudden, Hamas. Right? Well, guess what? Now we have a video of him saying what he did. That's right, everybody. We have actual footage of this son of a bitch telling them that they're going to literally fund this entire situation to roll out this way. Look at this, man. This is crazy to me. No one thinks we can manage to reach an agreement with them. But we will control the height of the flames.
The public blames Netanyahu for October 7th as the one who fed the beast. He did not create Hamas, but he fed it.
Netanyahu, who is against peace and who is against having a Palestinian state, dealt with Hamas for a long time as a strategic friend.
This is confidential and can't be leaked. We have neighbors here, sworn enemies. I'm constantly passing them messages. I confuse them, mislead them, lie to them, and then hit them over their heads.
It was important for him to keep Gaza under the control of Hamas and keeping the West Bank under the control of Fatah and preventing them from being united in any way. In order to do so, Netanyahu was all the time helping Hamas to survive.
Wow, everybody. That is insane, and I'm sorry, I don't think that there's any reason to not believe these stories. I believe this 100%. This guy is he's a dirty, rotten player, man. He's evil. He is the all-knowing. He is the definition of evil. If we could put a picture next to it in a dictionary, Netanyahu's face should be right there, and unfortunately, Trump's should be right behind it. I think that this is crazy, and he caused all of this because he did not want any type of peace. And I believe this man when they say that he is this disruptor and he is the causer of no peace. He wants no peace. He wants constant war. This guy is a psychopath, everybody. He's been saying this shit for 40 years. Why and how, all of a sudden, is he finally getting what he wants after 40 years? I want to know the dirt that he has on Trump. And if it's linked to the Epstein files, we're going to figure it out anyways. Because, sorry, man, Jeffrey Epstein for over a decade called you his best friend. So, fuck off, Trump. And fuck you, Netanyahu. All right, so breaking news, everybody. This has been going on. The bullet does not match. Oh, I'm so shocked. What? No way. No way, everybody.
We got massive breaking news tonight. Tyler Robinson did not kill Charlie Kirk. This is from the Daily Mail. They say the bullet used to kill Charlie Kirk did not match the rifle allegedly used by suspect Tyler Robinson, according to new court filings. Quote, Robinson, 22, is facing capital murder charges and a potential death sentence for Kirk's murder at Utah Valley University on September 10th of last year, but his defense attorney now argued that the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives was unable to identify the bullet recovered at the autopsy to the rifle allegedly tied to Mr. Robinson. Remember this gun right here that they told us was found in the woods?
Yeah.
What gets even weirder now is that yesterday, the Washington County Sheriff, Nate Brooksby, who presided over Tyler Robinson's arrest, abruptly resigned following, quote, undisclosed complaints. The Salt Lake City Tribune says Brooksby's resignation comes after the county received complaints from individuals who were concerned with the operations at the sheriff's office. Quote, after the decision, the complainant asked the matter not be pursued further and were respecting their request, which sounds a little bit like a cover-up if you ask me. Meanwhile, rumors are swirling online that Erica Kirk, Charlie's widow, was having an alleged affair with Andrew Colvett, who is, of course, Charlie's old colleague at Turning Point USA, also the spokesperson at Turning Point USA. Absolutely wild developments. Follow me to stay updated.
Dude, what did we tell you? What did we tell you? No way could that have been the gun, the person, or the bullet. Obviously. Now, I've heard some real good theories on the microphone being an explosion, but again, you got people like Rogan saying, no, I didn't see an explosion, blah, blah, blah. Well, what if it wasn't like a full explosion? What if it was just like a, what are those things called where you're acting and they shoot you and it blows up under the shirt and it looks like a bullet wound, right? I forget what those are called, like a blood packet or something like that. But what if it was like that? And it was so close. And I mean, the microphone was right on top of his chest, right? So you wouldn't need like an explosion. You know what I mean? You would just need it to do what needs to be done to break the skin. So it wouldn't have to be some crazy explosion to work. But what they're saying is that is the closest possibility, but I don't think we will ever be able to figure that out because, I mean, we have stuff like this coming up from Candice Owens too. Wow, Candice releases the video behind Charlie. A 30-6, the fuck it was. So let's just check this out because, you know, Candice always has great information. She's always so well-spoken. And I mean, she's the only one out there going after Erica for what she is. And pulling the veil back and showing what a monster she truly is. Now,
and by the way, I think at some point they said they didn't have the footage. They have the footage, okay? Terrell was at his office when he showed me this. And here we go. You can just play this. And if you guys are just on audio, you'll obviously need to come cut this on video because I can't really describe. Obviously, the question is being asked. This moment right here, we had assumed initially that was his recorder or something. I can confirm, you'll see later, that it's whipping fast and it looks white when it whips fast. But that is, in fact, his necklace. That is his necklace. And I find that for some reason to be very strange that the necklace goes up first. You can see this obviously. And by the way, there's no gore in this. So you don't really need viewer discretion because like I said, which kind of broke the internet, the bullet didn't go through, and not only did not go through, it didn't even cause any sort of a mess. His perfectly white t-shirt was white until the moment that he hit the ground. Skylar, we can get to that portion, I guess, where they can more clearly see the, well, first we can show them the magnet that's still on him. I guess we'll get to that.
So it's just, you know, these videos coming out is just wild to me, everybody. I mean, the next one I'm going to show you is the simple fact that we're looking for all this evidence, right? We're looking for all these things. Well, how are we supposed to find evidence when this happens? This is crazy.
Remember how we all thought it was weird that UVU was renovating the courtyard where Charlie Kirk was assassinated only a few days after the fact? Then how a UVU official addressed this, saying that it wasn't an attempt to cover up anything, that the paving work was already on the calendar as part of a planned campus renovation. Well, it turns out that UVU was reaching out to construction companies on Saturday, September 13th, only 3 days after the assassination. Text messages were obtained by Project Constitution via a GRAMA request, which allows the public to request access to government records, including state universities. Now, the names are redacted, but it shows that as early as Saturday, September 13th, they were looking to paver the whole area, and that the guys in the construction company were en route to do that. And this one's weird. Maybe that would be good. My guys are well trained in keeping quiet. Why do they need to be quiet? The exchange goes on to say that the university wants to get rid of all of the sod. The contractor asking if there's anybody on site that they should coordinate with, and someone responding, just get her done. Thank you.
This is a cover-up. This is to take away from us. Every time there's a good person out there, they get killed. Anytime there's somebody standing up for us. Anytime that our best interests are in mind, it is shot down, literally. I'm starting to believe that the first person that shot Trump might have been a setup at this point. I don't know. I don't believe anybody anymore. I don't know what to believe. I'm not sure where to go with this, but Charlie Kirk had real passions for a lot of things and then was realizing that the things that he was passionate about were very evil, and he started to go against them. And isn't it interesting how Charlie Kirk's podcast, who had some company behind it, now all of a sudden that company gets this giant endorsement, which was a giant endorsement from Israel, which was originally turned down by Charlie Kirk. Isn't it interesting how TP USA is now affiliated almost 1,000% with Israel, getting backed, money coming in? Is it? Or did Israel get exactly what they wanted by getting rid of Charlie Kirk and covering it up and having all of our law enforcement and government officials all in on it? Because why? Because our entire government is Israel's puppet. Did anybody hear about this? We had a celebrity here in Bedford, New Hampshire. But the only problem is he almost died. Check this out.
WMUR first brought you coverage at the scene on Tuesday when an electric vehicle crashed into the Bedford tolls and then went up in flames. New Hampshire State Police yesterday identified the driver as 51-year-old Massachusetts man Yevgeny Merman, who goes by Eugene. Governor Kelly Ayotte and her security detail were passing by and helped get Merman to safety. Merman is a voice actor known for his role as Gene Belcher on Bob's Burgers. He was the only person in the vehicle and was taken to Elliott Hospital for treatment. WMUR reached out to Merman's agent, Jay Gassner, who told us in a statement, quote, Eugene was in a very scary car accident. He wants to thank the bystanders, state police, first responders, and hospital staff who saved him. He is grateful to be on the mend. At this time, we kindly ask for privacy for Eugene and his family as he focuses on recovering from his injuries. As for Merman's vehicle, it was taken to a tow yard. Officials telling us the wreckage and batteries could continue burning for weeks.
That's insane, everybody. Look, these Bedford tolls, man, have been taking lives for a long time. I don't know what the problem is. We talk about it all the time. We go through those tolls all the time doing work around New Hampshire, you know, the mailbox guys. So what is happening? Now, I don't think they can rip these things down fast enough, okay? We've had 3 accidents in the last, 2 months. If you don't love Bob's Burgers, I don't know what to tell you. It's a great show. It's super fun. And Eugene is one of my favorite characters. So had no idea we had a celebrity going through the fucking Bedford tolls and almost dying. Just wild, dude. Wild. I mean, that's so crazy, right? Who knew? Just passing through the Bedford toll. Now, people that have been cast out of the world and been told that they were crazy and everything else. Well, isn't it just amazing how all of them are starting to resurface in a sense because of the simple fact that what? Oh, they were right. They were right. There was babies, there was adrenochrome, there's eating of children, there's all the RAPE, there's all the fucking, just terrible, terrible things. And we looked at these people and we're like, this is too far. What are you talking about? This is crazy. And now it's all true.
People like Roseanne Barr don't sound so crazy anymore now, does she?
You know they eat babies. That is not bullshit. It's true.
So it's not just the dogs and the cats, not just the pets.
It's not just the dogs and the cats. They're full-on vampires. And everybody still thinks I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy. They're full-on vampires. They love the taste of human flesh, and they drink human blood. They do, Tucker. Stop staring at me like that.
You're freaking me out, man. Because
They
you
do.
spent your life in the entertainment business, so I think you have some authority on this.
So many kids that I was in mental institutions with over the years, they are all from those cults. And they've covered it all up.
This is not conspiracy. This is proven to be going on based on the Epstein files that have been released. They are talking about it in the files.
And yeah, these people are not crazy. And they get to them all. Jim Carrey is gone. And if he's not dead, he's gone. They've captured him. They killed him. I don't know. But Jim Carrey is not Jim Carrey that I knew. Jim Carrey spoke out for decades against these people. And now all of a sudden, just craziness. So there's certain people that I still listen to that I thought were crazy that I'm no longer thinking this way. Roseanne's one of them. You know, Cat Williams is another. Kanye West, probably not that fucking crazy, even though he's crazy, but he is an artist. Got to be crazy to be an artist. But I believe these people more than I believe anybody else. I definitely believe them more than the politicians. Because I'm sorry, you know, this war has eaten away at their lives. You can't just drop bombs and then say the stock market's good. You can't just drop bombs and be like, everybody's got jobs. You can't drop bombs and say gas is not going to be high. You can't do that because war shows truth. You fucking idiots. Rabbi admits to satanic rituals. Look, these things are wild, everybody.
Looks like we finally got our answer about the Brooklyn tunnels.
David, if you could explain why was there a mattress in the tunnels and what is the stain? A lot of folks are wondering, is this stain feces?
No, it's not feces.
What
The
is
stain
it?
is blood, and basically
well.
we did rituals. I said that before. There were some rituals that we do in the tunnels, and sometimes the rituals might involve someone who recently died, and we'll bring them down there, and we're trying to do a ritual to bring back the Messiah, which is a Schneerson, if you heard about.
Wait, so let me get this straight. You're doing rituals to bring about a dead person from a dead person in a tunnel underneath the synagogue in Brooklyn. Isn't that Satan?
Wow. Wow. I don't even know what to say to that. These tunnels, these caverns, these things that they use to move around from city to city and sneak around so that they can keep doing their witchcraft and their Satan worshiping. It's everywhere. I bet you if we were to go into every synagogue across the United States, you would find tunnels. You'd find tunnels, you find bloody mattresses, you find all kinds of wonderful things. You think the person was actually already dead? I don't believe that for one iota. No way. No way. They brought a live person down into the tunnels, sacrificed them, drank their blood, and the spirit never thanked them for it. So they had to do it again and again and again and again. Why? Because, I don't know, they're crazy. They're crazy, and they think something's actually going to fucking happen. This is wild. Wild shit, man. So I thought that insane asylums, personally, if you think about the insane asylum, right, we were sending people that we deemed crazy to an insane asylum. Insane asylums got proven to not be helping people, and what they were doing is they were just a subcategory of a prison. They were torturing people. They were doing scientific experiments and electricity and all kinds of shit to correct the crazy people. And then all of a sudden, what the fuck happened, right? We closed all the insane asylums down. We sent all the crazy people back out into the world. Now, why did we do that? Well, our private prisons were failing. We didn't have enough people to incarcerate. So, to get away from helping people, we unleash them into the public. They do something wrong, and now they're a criminal. And we don't have a way to not send them to jail because the insane asylums are now closed. So it's a perfect fucking storm, everybody. It's a perfect fucking storm. But this I found was so interesting because why were so many people sent to insane asylums in the 1800s? I'm telling you, man, there's always an ulterior motive.
What if the insane asylums from the 1800s weren't built for insane people at all? Think about it. People always say, if there was a reset, wouldn't everyone have known? But what if the people who did know were labeled insane? In the 1800s, all across America and Canada, massive insane asylums started appearing. Huge buildings, massive stone structures, some of the biggest buildings in the entire country at the time. But here's the strange part. Many of these cities were just being founded. So where did all of these insane people come from? And how did they know there would be so many of them that they built entire castle-like complexes to hold them? Look at the Central Lunatic Asylum in Ohio. It looks more like a fortress than a hospital. Look at the Columbia State Hospital. At one point, it was the largest building in the United States. And then there's St. Vincent Hospital in St. Louis. They say it was built in 1 year. 1 year in the 1800s. With that architecture.
What?
So you have to ask yourself, were these buildings really made to treat the insane? Or were they made to silence people who remembered a world that no longer existed?
That's that right there. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Because think about it. I do believe that this is more of the reason why we had insane asylums in the first place, was because the big giant resets that we kept having, right? 1912, 1984. No, that was a book. But you know what I'm saying. Like, the years are escaping me right now, but there's been multiple resets. It's supposedly why I remember Berenstein Bears and not the Bernstein Bears or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So all of these things I believe to be true. And then eventually they got to the point where there was enough people that they snuffed out, fried their brains, and then they were like, ah, shit, we can't keep doing this to everybody. Now they don't remember. So we really don't need to do this anymore. And they shut it all down, sent them back out into the streets, broken and alone. And then they get put into the private jailing system. They get put into the private prisons where they can no longer be heard or seen. And now you're a prisoner, so you have absolutely no rights. When you were a mental patient, you still had rights. So it doesn't matter at the end of the day, because what they want is you to have no rights. Are we going to see this? Have you thought of the simple fact that the stuff in the Bible may not be describing what we thought, right? Because what if America was Exodus and it wasn't the part of the world that everybody keeps thinking that it is, and this could be the real reason why Israel wants America to fall and wants America as part of Israel. Check this out, dude. It's wild. Wild stuff.
Exodus happened in America.
Moses grew up in Egypt, the real Egypt. The Nile in Africa does not match the biblical Nile. It flowed into the Egyptian Sea. Look, and it is supposed to have 7 tributaries. The Nile of today does not. And America has much more pyramids. The Bible states that there were over 600,000 military-aged men roaming through Egypt in Exodus, which means there were millions of people if you include the wives, the children, and the elderly. Yet there is no evidence of this in modern-day Egypt. California is depicted as an island in all the older maps, and the California or
Look at I don't know if you can see the map, but California was never attached to America. There is a wide Gulf of California on the Red Sea. What? And it says over here, Isle de Cagliari. It's in a different language. But California, Red Sea, Gulf of California. It was never attached to America? What the fuck, dude? Did anybody else know this? Keep going, keep going.
Baja Sea is called the Red Sea. The Jesuit maps depict California as a peninsula by 1698. California finally looks how it appears on the maps today by the 1770s. California cannot return to its natural state due to all the dams and levees.
Hold on, let me
Egypt is Hamite land, Mitzvah by the 1770s. California cannot...
Look at this map. Do you see how California is drawn out? And then you can see where the river, the Gulf of California, used to be. They actually connected it to the United States of America.
Not return to its natural state due to all the dams and levees.
1500.
Mitzrayim is a son of Ham. Hamite land stretched from the Mississippi River to the west coast. When Moses split the Red Sea, he was leading the Israelites into California, aka Canaan, the son of Ham. Canaan had 11 sons. Sidon is Sedona. Phoenicians are from Phoenix. Sedona and Phoenix were on the coast of the Red Sea. The Red Sea of today is the Arabian Gulf. Look, the Hittite Canaanites were from Canada, as you can see here. These are Hittites. These are Hittites. They will die with the lie that this is their land. After the Israelites cross over the Red Sea, they stop in Elim for water. California has thousands of springs. Then they reach Mount Sinai, which is ironically near Joshua Tree. The first 5 books of the Bible are the books of Moses. Then Joshua takes over after the death of Moses. The Canaanites crossbred with the Nephilim, the fallen angels, which produced the Anakim and Rephaim, which were hybrids. Half giant, half human, like Goliath or King Og. Joshua and the Israelites failed to completely wipe out the giants and Canaanites. Some of these giants and Canaanites were very skilled and had iron chariots. Maybe they were tanks of some sort. And not all of them were evil. The Southwest has recovered the most giant skeletons. Giants are the descendants of the Nephilim, or fallen angels, Los Angeles. This giant was found in Southern California and was acknowledged and purchased by the Smithsonian. It was discarded as a fake even though they bought it after scientists examined it. There were dozens of findings, if not hundreds. Look, Western America has the most on Earth. See?
Wow, and it's just rolling through.
That's why there was the Isle of
burials.
Giganti. That's why Ezion Geber means giant backbone. The oldest and tallest cedars are in the northwest. The cedars were sent from King Hiram to Solomon to build the temple. Hiram was up here. It makes sense to float the trees down the Red Sea. This only makes sense in American geography. This doesn't. That's why this was found in Brazil. Cedars in modern Lebanon are too small and too forked for lumber. Look, these are perfect. California has the oldest trees, though one was cut down by mistake, as well as the largest trees on Earth. These are mentioned in Isaiah. Look, do you see? And Hosea. America is the old world. There are no pyramids on African maps until almost 1600.
Could you imagine, dude, if that's true? Holy shit. I mean, that is something, because it's not what we were told, right? It's not what we were told. So it can't be true, everybody. It can't be true. It could be true. This could totally be fucking true. I didn't know California was never attached to America. Have you ever seen a map where it's not attached? Even the old world maps that we studied in fucking school? California was always part of the United States. I've never seen it depicted any other way. This blew my mind. Everything we've been told is fucking fake, man. It's crazy. It is so fake. And they wonder why we don't believe, you know? Like, why are they so shocked that we don't believe anything that they're telling us? It's because they believe that they've got us. They believe that they finally got us, and they are just going to double and triple down on all of this until they win. So this here, man, I actually feel like this is something really close to me, and this is exactly how I was feeling, and I am still feeling this way after listening to this video. It really touched me, and if you're starting to feel this way as well, then you're right there with me. Look, there's nothing wrong with feeling like you're falling back into religion, but this is very interesting, and I thought the words were really, really good.
Watch this video.
Yeah, I don't believe in God. I don't read the Bible, but I sit there, started praying 3 times a day. My prayer started like this: God, I don't believe in you. I think it's fake. I think it's for weak people. But if you're out there, great. I want to know something. But if not, I'm talking anyways. And I said, God, I haven't spoken to my mom for 5 years, but if you exist, I would love to talk to my mom. 30 seconds later, my next tell, I get a call from a block number. Scariest moment for me. I don't want to answer the phone. And I flip it, and it's my mom crying. So why are you crying? She says, I got the feeling you were in pain. But I don't know how to talk to her. I hang up the phone. I sat in that car that night, top of the hills. Chills all over my body. I'm like, oh my God. Either this is ironic or this is real, but the level of coincidence is a little too real. I could have chosen to say it's ironic. I chose to believe it was God, and he has my back, and he's had my back from day one.
That's kind of where I'm at now. You know, this has really shown me that we all need some faith. We need something bigger than ourselves. And I'm not saying that what I believe and what I'm going to say is what you should believe in and what you should be doing. What I'm saying is I'm finding myself getting closer to God again, because everything else that I'm listening to and watching is all about devil, Satan, destruction, death, vampires. I don't stand on their side. And if Jesus Christ and God are the only ones that can stand up to all of this evil today, then we all need to pray. We all need to. We need to pray that we get out of this, that we survive this chaos that Israel is putting upon the entire world. This stupid little fucking country has dictatorship over the world right now. This is insane. This little piece of shit country that's no bigger than what? Fucking Jersey? I think I said a couple months ago, or weeks ago, is running the fucking world. Has Trump just doing his bidding. All of our whistleblowers are being arrested and exiled. And all the people that have harmed children that we're supposed to protect, by the way, are getting away with it. It's really, really, really sad. Really sad. Filipinos are driving Waymos remotely, everybody. All right, so let's check out what's going on with the Waymos.
So now we know for sure what happens when Waymos get into this kind of Mexican standoff type situation. Apparently somebody in the Philippines provides guidance.
Waymo has critical safety employees who may need to intervene in a split second if a Waymo encounters an unknown dangerous situation located in the United States. In what countries are these employees located?
The Philippines.
Jimmy?
the Philippines.
During a congressional hearing on Wednesday, Waymo's chief safety officer, Mauricio Pena, was grilled over the company's use of Chinese-made vehicles and reliance on overseas workers. After being pressed for a breakdown on where these overseas operators operate, Pena said that he didn't have those stats, explaining that some of the operators live in the U.S., but others live much further away, including in the Philippines.
I pulled out of the garage and I saw this going on. It's like this Waymo standoff.
What is happening?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get out of here, but
This is so funny.
Yes, this would be kind of funny if not for the very real possibility of foreign hackers accessing and taking over the operations of these vehicles. This is Senator Ed Markey, quote, overseas remote assistance operations may be more susceptible to physical takeover by hostile actors, potentially granting them driver-like control over thousands of vehicles transporting passengers on American roads. Heavy and fast-moving vehicles could quickly become the weapons of foreign actors seeking to harm innocent Americans. Look, you do you, but I myself, because of all the stuff that I talk about, have pissed off a number of different foreign actors. So for now, I think I will stick to my handy-dandy stick shift.
Wow. So you're telling me that these things can be remotely driven, taken over from the Philippines. So you know where the Philippines are? Nowhere near us. So they're remotely taking over these cars if there's a situation in hand that they need to eliminate for people's safety. Again, always throwing safety or the children in there. That's what we're doing this for, everybody. Such a fucking lie. This gentleman here, somehow, some way, well, no, not this man, but he uncovered a major security flaw that after accidentally discovering he could control more than 7,000 of the robot vacuums. Check this out.
There was a user trying to control his robot vacuum with the PS5 controller. He accidentally exposed a huge security flaw, gaining access to nearly 7,000 other vacuums. Those vacuums had live cameras, mic feeds, and floor plans. Also, what's funny is when he connected his, he was also simultaneously moving all 7,000 of those at the same time. He claims he wasn't trying to hack every robot vacuum in the world. He just wanted to remote control his brand new Waymo vacuum with a PS5 gamepad because it sounded fun. He could remotely control them and look and listen through their live camera feeds. He said he tested that out with a friend. He could watch them map out each room of a house, generating a complete 2D floor plan. And then he could use any robot IP address to find its rough location. And you might think that vacuum on the ground's moving around because it's about to hit a wall, or that's just how it's algorithmically supposed to move. But what it's saying here is someone could take control of that thing and move it to wherever it wants. And it has a camera and a mic in it.
What?
He showed his level of access in a live demo. Tens, hundreds, thousands of robots reporting for duty. Each phoning home, data packets every 3 seconds to say their serial number, which rooms they're cleaning, what they've seen, and how far they've traveled.
Whoa.
With nothing more than 14-digit number, the hacker could not only pull up any robot, he could correctly see if it's cleaning a living room or what the battery life was. And within minutes, he made the robot generate and transmit an accurate floor plan of his friend's house with the correct shape and size of each room just by typing in some digits into a laptop. Separately, he pulled up his own DJI Waymo's live video feed, completely bypassing its security pin, then walked into his living room and waved to the camera.
Holy, this is what I'm saying, dude. This stuff is not good. If it's this easy for a young adult to just, and let's just say he wasn't just trying to run his vacuum with a PlayStation remote because it sounds fun. Let's just say he's an Iranian and he gets a hold of 7,000 vacuums, just mapping people's houses out and getting strategic locations. I'm just saying, man, this is not good. Somebody else who now sees this video may decide to use this for bad. and not just do it to a friend just to see how it works or whatnot. But maybe actually go into those other bots and cameras and actually cause some chaos. So could aliens be the thing that bring us all back together? And are they already here? Let's check it out.
Talk at the end. And I had someone come and brief me who was in a military uniform, worked for the United States Army, that was briefing me on the locations of hybrid breeding programs where captured aliens were breeding with humans to create some hybrid race that could engage in intergalactic communication. An actual uniformed member of the United States Army briefed me on that. I had a guy who was uniformed. He was a senior enlisted with the United States Army, came into my office in Crestview, Florida, in a non-classified setting. I had members of my staff there. And what they explained is that the military ran a very secret program where aliens that were living were in forced breeding programs with humans that had been abducted from war zones and from even the caravans of migrants. What the whistleblower was telling me is that there were like between 6 and 12 locations around the country where this happened.
Now, my best guess at what's happening here is actually, regardless of how crazy you think this is, I do believe that aliens are actually demons. I think that's who we got a lot of technology from. I think that's why ancient civilizations seemed surprisingly advanced for what we know about them. And this mating with demons thing is very common in the satanic world. They'll do dark rituals until an entity shows up, and very often it will mate with a woman or it will mate with a man. And the being able to communicate better with intergalactic species and stuff like that is actually a better way for you to be able to communicate with demons. I really think that's what's happening. It's darker and sicker than you think that it is.
And if that wasn't bad enough, right? You got these robots that can be controlled and everything else. Now we're looking at aliens, okay? Why are we looking at aliens again? Because aliens are the next thing that could bring us together. But what if aliens were demons? Well, then it would tie into everything we've been talking about today, right? The demonic, Satan worshiping, cabal worshiping demons. Well, what if aliens was the final piece of the satanic rituals? What if aliens are demons and they were never aliens in the first place? Well, I mean, this would be something crazy, right? This would be crazy if aliens were not aliens and they were demons. But then again, if you had aliens mating with humans and aliens are demons, well, now we have demons mating with humans, which created the Nephilim. So, are we at the point of all of this where everything is starting to be repeated? And they are getting to the point now where they're trying to bring the Nephilim back. So, I thought this was really neat. I've never seen anything like it. Supposedly, this mall started off really, really tiny. And I saw this and I was like, 11 stories? Check this out.
One of Thailand's most iconic abandoned malls. The old elevator. This place looks sick. It's so cool. There are lights in a house over there. Okay, let's go up a little bit. Nah. Yo, Rich. Let's go up this way. Although the mall was only approved for 4 stories, it was constructed with 11 floors beginning in 1982, continued building despite denied permits in 1984, faced a building code lawsuit in 1985, survived years of legal delays even after a 1994 Supreme Court demolition order, and ultimately saw demolition enforcement begin in late 2003 while shops were still operating on the lower levels.
Whoa, dude, that's crazy. This thing was so dangerous, they tried to close it a couple times. What? And it started off as 4 stories and wound up to be 11? A mall. That's insane, dude. Now this thing is just sitting there, getting ready to just fall down. Did you see how he wouldn't go up the escalator stairs? Dude, if that fucking, you would, I mean, people get their fingers and all kinds of things sucked into those things. It's like a shredder, dude. So, I mean, I can understand why you wouldn't want to walk up that, but you're going to tell me the concrete's that much stronger? It does look like it's crumbling and falling apart, but I guess the concrete stairs would have been safer. But still, crazy shit. Everybody, as always, I thank you. I thank you so much for subscribing and watching and commenting. Keep it up. If you're new, popping by, subscribe, do the things. I don't know where it is. I just keep pointing. But go ahead and subscribe, all right? And then you want an opportunity to tell your story or be a guest? talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. That's the official email of the podcast. Go ahead and send an audio, video, or type it out. And then Linktree. It's in the description below the video. Go ahead and click it. It gives you everything TWT. It's all updated and fresh, just like everything on this podcast now. Woo! Starting to get it all updated for the 7th year. So go and check out everything. Remember, all the links are in the description below the video as well. Do your own research. Never stop talking. We have the power, everybody. I believe this. I believe we all have the power to give us a better future. We just have to stand up to all of the Satan worshipers and demons. All right? So don't fall for the aliens. Don't go outside. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to end this thing. All right, everybody. That's the podcast today. So have yourselves an amazing rest of your Thursday. Enjoy your weekend. And as always, I will talk to you next week.